In a bustling city nestled at the edge of a vast desert, there lived a clever but humble young man named Aladdin. Though he often dreamed of riches and adventure, his reality was one of struggle, helping his widowed mother scrape by with odd jobs and errands. One fateful day, as Aladdin wandered the marketplace, a mysterious man approached him. Draped in robes of deep crimson and gold, the man introduced himself as a wealthy merchant. "Young man," he said, his voice smooth as silk, "I see potential in you. Help me retrieve something precious from the desert, and I shall reward you handsomely." Skeptical but tempted, Aladdin agreed. The man led him deep into the desert, to a cave hidden beneath the shadow of a rocky outcrop. With a wave of his hand, the merchant revealed a concealed entrance. "Inside lies an ancient treasure," he said. "A lamp. Bring it to me, and you may keep anything else you find." Aladdin entered the cave cautiously, marveling at the riches that glimmered within. Piles of gold coins, sparkling jewels, and intricate artifacts. But what caught his eye was a simple, tarnished lamp resting atop a stone pedestal. He seized the lamp and began gathering a few other trinkets from the ground with a tremble. "Quickly," the merchant shouted, "hand me the lamp." But when Aladdin reached the entrance, the merchant's true nature was revealed. His once kind face twisted into a sneer, and his voice grew harsh. "Give it to me, boy, or you'll never leave this cave." Realizing he'd been deceived, Aladdin refused. The enraged merchant, actually a sorcerer, uttered an incantation, sealing the cave's entrance with a deafening crash. Alone in the darkness, Aladdin sank to the ground, clutching the lamp. Frustrated, he rubbed the lamp to clear away some dust, and in an instant, the air around him shimmered. A towering figure emerged, wreathed in swirling light and smoke. "I am the genie of the lamp," it boomed, "and I am bound to grant you 3 wishes." Stunned but determined, Aladdin quickly wished to escape the cave. The genie snapped its fingers, and in a blink, Aladdin found himself back in the desert under the starry sky. With the lamp safely in his possession, Aladdin returned home and shared his story with his mother. Over time, he used his wishes wisely. First, he wished for a modest but comfortable home for his mother and himself. Then, he wished for the means to better the lives of the struggling people in his city. His final wish, however, he saved. One day, while visiting the palace gardens, Aladdin met Princess Layla, whose beauty and kindness captivated him. To win her heart, he used his charm and sincerity rather than magic. Over time, the two fell deeply in love. When Aladdin and Layla married, the young man decided to release the genie from the lamp. "You have given me more than I could have imagined," Aladdin said. "Now it is time for you to be free." Aladdin's story didn't end with his newfound happiness as a prince. The world had more trials and adventures in store, for peace in a kingdom is never permanent. A year after his marriage to Princess Layla, the skies darkened over the city, and whispers of a returning evil reached Aladdin's ears. The sorcerer who had once trapped him in the cave was alive and seeking vengeance. This time, the sorcerer sought the power of the lamp, unaware that its genie was free. Though the lamp now held no magic, the sorcerer's belief in its power made him dangerous. One stormy night, the sorcerer infiltrated the palace. Disguised as an aged healer, he claimed to carry remedies for the royal family. His true intent was to locate the lamp and wrest it from Aladdin. Aladdin, however, had grown wise from his earlier experiences. Recognizing the sorcerer's eyes despite the disguise, he feigned ignorance, allowing the man to steal the now powerless lamp. As the sorcerer fled, Aladdin and Layla devised a plan to end his reign of terror. The next morning, Aladdin followed the sorcerer's trail to a secluded temple in the mountains. Inside, the sorcerer attempted to summon the genie, shouting incantations in frustration when the lamp failed to respond. Aladdin stepped out of the shadows and confronted him. "You think power lies in that lamp," Aladdin said, his voice steady. "But it doesn't. True power comes from within, the power to choose kindness over greed." Enraged, the sorcerer unleashed a torrent of dark magic. The battle that followed was fierce, with the temple's walls trembling under the clash of spells and daring maneuvers. Aladdin relied on his wits, using the environment to outsmart his enemy. At last, he tricked the sorcerer into triggering a trap. A massive stone door slammed shut, sealing him within a chamber of his own making. Aladdin returned to the city a hero once more. Yet, he remained humble, knowing that it was not magic but courage, intelligence, and love that had saved him. The people of the city celebrated their prince, but Aladdin used the occasion to remind them of a greater truth. "We all have a lamp within us," he said during the festivities. "A light that guides us to be better, to help one another, and to build a world of hope." From that day forward, Aladdin and Princess Layla worked tirelessly to improve the lives of their people. They built schools, hospitals, and libraries, ensuring that knowledge and compassion were shared freely. The memory of the magic lamp became less about wishes and more about the importance of community and resilience. Though the lamp now sat as an ornament in their palace, Aladdin's real treasure lay in the life he had built with Layla and her people. Years passed, and Aladdin and Layla's kingdom flourished under their rule. Their love was legendary, their leadership compassionate, and their people content. But as all great tales go, a new challenge loomed on the horizon. One evening, a merchant arrived in the palace, bringing with him a strange artifact. A scroll edged with golden runes that shimmered faintly. The merchant explained that the scroll was discovered in a distant desert temple and was said to hold the secret to an ancient, untold treasure. "But beware," the merchant warned, "for the path to this treasure is fraught with danger and guarded by powerful curses." Though Aladdin had long since left his days of treasure hunting behind, the scroll intrigued him. Layla, ever curious and adventurous herself, urged him to investigate. "This treasure might not be gold or jewels," she said. "It could hold knowledge or power that could help our kingdom further." The next morning, Aladdin, Layla, and a small group of trusted companions set out on the journey. The scroll led them to the edge of the known world, through vast deserts, over treacherous mountains, and into forgotten jungles. Along the way, they encountered many challenges, riddles carved into ancient stones, illusions that tested their resolve, and creatures that seemed foreign. One night, as they camped under the stars, Aladdin looked at Layla and said, "Do you think this treasure, whatever it is worth all this risk?" Layla smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "It's not the treasure we seek that matters, Aladdin. It's the journey, the lessons we learn, and the bonds we forge along the way." Finally, the group arrived at a towering ziggurat hidden in the heart of a misty valley. As they ascended its steps, they noticed carvings depicting an ancient civilization that once thrived there. At the summit, they discovered a chamber bathed in a soft, otherworldly glow. In the center of the room rested a pedestal, and on it lay a crystalline orb pulsing with light. As Aladdin reached out to touch the orb, a deep voice echoed through the chamber. "Those who seek this treasure must prove their hearts are pure. Speak your truth, and it shall decide your fate." Each member of the group spoke, sharing their deepest desires. When it was Aladdin's turn, he paused. Then, with a steady voice, he said, "I don't seek this treasure for myself, but for my people. If it has the power to bring wisdom or peace, I would use it to guide them. If it is a burden, I would bear it so they do not have to." The orb glowed brighter and then dissolved into a cascade of light. The voice returned, softer this time. "Your heart is noble, and your purpose just. The treasure is not wealth, but the knowledge of balance, the secret to guiding your kingdom through harmony and justice. The chamber shifted, and suddenly they were surrounded by visions, images of sustainable farming, advanced medicine, and harmonious governance. Aladdin and Layla absorbed these insights, committing them to memory. When the visions faded, the group found themselves back at the base of the ziggurat, the chamber gone as though it had never existed. Returning home, Aladdin and Layla implemented what they had learned. Years turned into decades, and Aladdin and Layla became legends in their own time. Their wisdom transformed their kingdom into the heart of a vast and peaceful empire. Scholars, artists, and travelers from faraway lands flocked to their capital, seeking to learn from their remarkable land. But even as they grew older, Aladdin and Layla's thirst for discovery and adventure never waned. One day, an emissary from a distant island nation arrived at the palace, carrying a peculiar gift, a star-shaped amulet that glowed faintly under the sunlight. The emissary explained that it was an artifact tied to an ancient prophecy, one that foretold the coming of a chosen pair who would restore balance to the world. "Our land is dying," the emissary pleaded. "The seas are rising, and the earth trembles. Only those with pure hearts can wield the amulet's power and save us." Aladdin and Layla, now older but no less spirited, decided to undertake one last adventure together. Though their advisors protested, urging them to send others in their stead, the couple insisted. "This is our destiny," Layla said. "We've spent our lives serving our people. Now, we must serve the world." Their journey took them across vast oceans to the island nation of Amara, a land of breathtaking beauty, but one now scarred by calamity. Volcanoes smoldered ominously in the distance, and the once lush jungles were reduced to ash and dust. The people of Amara lived in fear, clinging to hope that the prophecy might come true. Guided by the amulet, Aladdin and Layla ventured deep into the island's heart. There they discovered the Temple of Stars, an ancient structure said to hold the key to restoring balance. The temple's walls shimmered with constellations that seemed alive, shifting and spinning as though the stars themselves were guiding them. At the temple's core, they found a massive, intricately carved altar surrounded by flowing streams of molten light. Inscribed upon it were the words, "Only through unity and sacrifice can the world be renewed." Aladdin and Layla realized the altar required them to merge their life forces with the amulet to awaken the dormant power within the island. The process would not take their lives, but it would leave them mortal and vulnerable, their vitality forever tied to the land. "We've always known our strength came from each other," Aladdin said, taking Layla's hand. "If this is what it takes to save Amara, then we will do it together." Together, they placed the amulet on the altar. A brilliant light enveloped them, and the temple trembled as the land itself seemed to come alive. Streams of molten light flowed outward, revitalizing the island. Forests regrew, volcanoes quieted, and the seas receded. The people of Amara, watching from the shores, fell to their knees in awe. When the light faded, Aladdin and Layla emerged from the temple, their hair streaked with silver and their eyes glowing faintly with the power of the amulet. They were no longer rulers of a single kingdom. They were now stewards of balance, tied to the very fabric of the earth. They returned to their kingdom as symbols of hope, their story inspiring not only their people, but the world. Though they had sacrificed their immortality, Aladdin and Layla found peace in knowing their lives had been spent in service to others. In their final years, they became storytellers, sharing their adventures with children who gathered around them in wonder. And when they finally passed, their spirits became part of the stars, shining down upon the world they had saved. The constellation they formed together was named the Lovers of Light, a reminder that even in the vastness of the cosmos, Unity, love, and sacrifice could shape the destiny of the world. Generations passed, but the stories of Aladdin and Layla endured, passed from elder to child, scholar to student, and traveler to traveler. Their kingdom, now a beacon of enlightenment and peace, thrived under the guidance of leaders inspired by their legacy. Yet, the tale of their final journey to Amara and the prophecy they fulfilled became more than legend. It became a foundation for a new era of unity among nations. In the years after Aladdin and Layla's passing, their kingdom led an alliance of neighboring realms to create the Council of Stars, an organization dedicated to maintaining balance across the lands. The council's symbol was the star-shaped amulet, representing their belief in unity and shared destiny. Among those who carried their teachings forward was their granddaughter, Zura. Born with her grandmother's sharp intellect and her grandfather's unshakable courage, Zara grew up hearing the tales of Aladdin and Layla. She often visited the Temple of Stars in Amara, where her grandparents' sacrifice was immortalized in carvings on the temple walls. One day, while exploring the temple's hidden chambers, Zara discovered a hidden alcove. Inside was a mosaic depicting a map of the stars, different from the constellations known to them. Beneath the mosaic was an inscription in the ancient tongue of Amara. The balance restored is not the end, but the beginning. Look to the stars for what lies beyond. Intrigued, Zara brought the discovery to the Council of Stars. Scholars from across the land studied the mosaic and deciphered its meaning. It was a map to the Celestial Gate, a mythical portal set to connect the mortal world to the heavens. The gate was believed to hold knowledge of creation itself, wisdom beyond imagination. But it came with a warning. Only those with hearts as pure as Aladdin and Layla's could unlock its secrets. Moved by her ancestors' legacy, Zara decided to lead an expedition to find the Celestial Gate. The journey would take her across uncharted seas, through lands that had only existed in ancient texts, and into the unknown. Before departing, she visited the palace treasury, where the now dormant amulet was kept. As she held it, she felt a faint warmth, as if her grandparents' spirits were blessing her journey. Zara's expedition included a diverse group of adventurers, scholars, healers, navigators, and warriors. They sailed beyond the known world, guided by the stars in the mosaic. Along the way, they faced challenges that tested their unity, a tempest that scattered their fleet, an island inhabited by guardians of stone, and an enchanted forest that revealed their deepest fears. Through each trial, Zara reminded her crew of Aladdin and Layla's teachings. True strength lies not in what we face, but in how we face it together. After many months, they arrived at the edge of the world, where the sea met the sky in a shimmering veil of light. There, rising from the waters, was the Celestial Gate, a structure of glowing crystals that pulsed with the rhythm of the stars.